Today's adventure brings us to Mallows Bay, right here in Maryland. We are alongside the 405-mile-long Potomac River. This river has a lot of history on it, but we're only going to be exploring a small little section known as the Ghost Fleet. Why is it called the Ghost Fleet? Well, it is the largest collection of shipwrecks in the Northern Hemisphere in one place. Some of these ships date back to the Revolutionary War. Let's go check it out.
Hey babe, look at this plane.
Hey, that's cool. You got it in close?
I do. I love the zoom on this camera. There's a dock to get out into the water, but wait for it. There's a kayak launch right down here. I can't wait to try it.
How cool is that? You don't have to get your feet wet. All right, Cheryl. Ready when you launch.
Here we go.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty
That's nice.
It's nice, huh?
Yes, it is. Let's go find us some boats. All right, so the first place we'll be visiting today is the ferry. The ferry's been here since 1973, so let's go out and take a closer look at it.
Wildlife has taken over where man has let off.
Yeah, there's a nest there, and I believe there's a nest at the other end too.
Let's check out this nest. Because it's fall, so we won't see anybody living in the nest, I don't think. It's pretty big. Going in. The inside.
Now, she's got the camera inside the hull. Now, research that we did says that this ferry had caught fire, was decommissioned, and then in 1973 it was hauled here and then just left. Other research said that the captain had run the ferry aground and just kind of abandoned ship. He said, oops, got on a dinghy, left, and never returned. So, in any event, here it is.
This is the back of the ferry. And it looks like the back fell right off or got cut off. But up here, it looks like some pieces of machinery.
On the other side of the ferry, that's where the rest of the Ghost Fleet is. What you're looking at right there used to be a ship. Now, if you're going to plan to come out here, you should plan for low tide, because during high tide, that could be just under the surface of the water, and we don't want to kayak over that because you get all caught up in it. Now, as I pan along the side of the ferry, Cheryl is over there. She says that she believes she found the bathroom, so we'll look at that in a minute. But as I pan along, I want to let you know you are not allowed on the ferry. Because if you were, we would be all over that.
And right here. Found the restroom.
What you're looking at here is one of the ships in the Ghost Fleet. Now, the majority of the ships here date back to when the U.S. entered World War I. We were short on cargo and transport ships, so President Woodrow Wilson approved a program to build 1,000 steamships at $1 million apiece, and to have them all built in 18 months. That never happened. As a matter of fact, the war didn't even last that long. None of these ships ever participated in the war at all. But they continued to build them because there was a contract. It went on for at least a year, and still, it only produced a little over 200 ships. And those ships that were built leaked because they were made of wood, and by then the new diesel engine came out, so coal-fired steamships were, well, obsolete. I mean, the government may not have been too happy with these ships, but look at the birds. They're thrilled to death with them.
So that was once a ship. Over there. All that was a ship. It now has vegetation growing on it.
I believe that's Quantico over there. My old duty station when I served in the Marine Corps. My last duty station.
These ships were costing a lot of money to be stored doing nothing, so the U.S. decided to cut its losses and sold the ships to investors for scrap metal. West Marine and Salvage bought over 200 of them for $750,000. Remember, they cost $1 million apiece. Most were burnt to the water level for any scrap metal retrieval. Before they went bankrupt, about 140 of the ships ended up here in Mallows Bay. The remains of the ships have mostly rotted away now, but left behind an ecosystem that was prosperous for plants, fish, and wildlife.
This is one of the best examples we found of what happens when a steamship becomes an island. That's pretty cool. This is just another shot of that, well, let's just call it a ship island.
Across from the dock are some artifacts. As I pan to the right is the entrance to the burn basin set up by Bethlehem Steel to burn the remaining ships for the scrap metal during World War II. But they ended up spending more money than they were getting in return for the scrap metal. When they closed the operation, there was still around 100 ships left here in the bay.
All right, I made it out without a problem. Cheryl's coming in now. I tell you, I love these things. These are really great. My feet did not get wet at all. Locking in the oar. Then you just pull yourself right up.
Wow, that's so cool.
How neat is that? Even though the Ghost Fleet is not as easy to see as it would have been decades ago, it is still a cool place to come out here. And Google Earth has no trouble finding it. Look at this. This is the ferry that we showed you at the beginning of the video.
Now, I think the best time of year to come would be spring or early summer, so you can see all the new wildlife.
Yep, and we are going to close the video out here. If you like what you saw, we'd appreciate that thumbs up, as always. You want to follow along with everything we do here on We Are Mud Fun? Right down there in the lower right-hand corner. Click it and you're in. Because until our next adventure,
The end.